here to welcome you all to this annual concert for human rights, organised by the Bournville group of Amnesty International and Freedom from Torture West Midlands. Normally I'm able to welcome you in person to the Church of Cars Lane, where the concert's been staged for quite a few years now. Of course, this year it's very different. For the first time, we've brought performers together on film to create a new experience and indeed to bring the concert to many more friends across Britain and around the world. However, the concert is no less varied and it's filled with performances of fantastic creativity, not to mention great entertainment. As the concert is online, it's free to watch. But of course we welcome donations to the charitable work both of Bournville Amnesty and to Freedom from Torture West Midlands. How to donate will be displayed on the screen below. And I'll tell you more about the work of both groups later on. So let's begin our concert. And the opening performance is a stirring piece performed by Michael C.T. Lamb, singing the Toreadors song from Bizet's Carmen. He's accompanied on the piano by Anna Vienna Ho. Praised for a voice which is deliciously deep and rich, Hong Kong baritone Michael Chung Ting Lam is a wide-ranging opera and concert soloist. He received his Master of Music in Vocal Performance from the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire, where he was awarded the Sinclair Barfield Memorial Ball for operatic distinction. Michael has sung in numerous operas here and around the world. He's also performed actively as a concert soloist, and today, accompanied by Anna Vienna Ho, he combines these elements of his powerful performing presence to open our concert with the Toreadors song.
I drink to you tonight. Oh, may you soldier reward his love. Pouring on, pouring on, beyond rises love.
So thank you to Michael and Anna, and they'll both be back later on in the concert. Matt Windle has become a favourite of our Christmas concert. Matt was one of the first Birmingham's Young Poets Laureate and later became Birmingham Poet Laureate. In recent years, including online during lockdown, he's been seen inspiring children and young adults in schools and colleges as the poet with the punch, combining his performance skills as both a poet and a boxer. Matt will introduce the 3 works he's going to perform for us. So let's not miss a word.
Hello, my name's Matt Windle. I'm a professional boxer as well as the former Young Poet Laureate and Poet Laureate of Birmingham. I'm going to share 3 of my poems with you today, and for the first poem I thought I should share an introductory piece so that you can get to know me a little bit better than what you currently do within the next 60 to 90 seconds or so. This piece is called Brawling and Rhyming. Any road to fulfilment may be paved with resilience, because life isn't all highlight reels and brilliance. It's filled with mistakes that you need to learn from. Accepting the pros and the cons is what makes you as a person. See, I was thrown out of school when I was just 15. Only ended up with 3 GCSEs. No more mainstream schooling. I was sent to a Peru, the same system that half of British prisoners go through. My parents were petrified and personified stressed, and I was talking to counsellors and feeling depressed. Street life antics got me stabbed in my hand and my leg. I was thinking, how could I be so far behind when I want to get ahead? But then I took up boxing, and that gave me a vision, as well as entering the Young Poet Laureate competition, which was very middle class and filled with grammar school girls, but a new form of expression now existed in my world. And I made the final, only to lose out. I also didn't win my first amateur bout, but fast forward to now, and I'm your typical pro boxer, poet laureate that aims to inspire. I work with young people, providing the sparks for their fire. I've gone from being excluded for talking and fighting to making a living from brawling and rhyming. That's why I wear my smile and my scars with humility and pride. And I may not always succeed at the first attempt, but that will never stop me from trying. Thank you. This next piece is called Shooting Star, and it began life as a haiku. A haiku is a 3-line form of Japanese poetry consisting of 5 syllables in the first line, 7 syllables in the second line before returning to 5 syllables again in the third line. So the haiku that gave life to this piece was, I promise not to write a poem about you, but 3 lines won't hurt. And then from that, the rest of the poem kind of grew and sprouted from it. Prior to your existence, a portmanteau of persons wouldn't have made sense to me. And though its purpose is clouded, I guess this was meant to be. Every reason for a thing. Every kingdom needs a king, and even freedom costs something. Shooting stars stand out in familiar skies. We see them as beautiful. We think them unique, so that you and me can close our eyes and make a wish before it's gone again, just as quickly as it came in, all whilst barely even noticing the 3 stars of Orion, the moon even, the constellations of Andromeda and Pegasus. Instead, we have gone with our nemesis. We are ignoring the supremacist that's hiding in plain night. It's the easy come, easy go that attracts our attention, and catches the eye. But the nightfall glow that I wish to behold doesn't wish to be held. I tried once. I burnt my fingertips, which turned hindered bits into splintered fists. I haven't touched the same since. My sense of humour laughs at itself with smile shapes welded by teardrops, but fear not, because I've realised that it wasn't even a star anyway, just a hollow name. So that wasn't even a start, it was just tomorrow's way of preparing I for an unknown you. It was a crucible of sorts that I was condemned to go through. I know that I promised not to write a poem about you, but 3 lines won't hurt. Thank you. And for my third and final piece, I'd like to help encourage you to get into the festival spirit this year. It's been a little bit turbulent of a 2020 to say the least, but I hope after my Christmas poem you'll be feeling a little bit more Christmassy. We begin to buy the presents that the shops have to sell. Now let me ring your jingle bells as single tells its story on why there's no love to buy for, and maybe your mother or in-law cooks a dinner just to die for. Midnight madness hits the shops desperate just to buy more and try for Santa. Brothers share banter at the Christmas dinner. Mum loves me more. My turkey slice is bigger than yours. No, yours is way much thinner. Leave the food to simmer so that you know it's tasting right. And I've heard that Christmas spirit will keep you up all night, but it's alright. It's only once a year. Don't feed me Christmas pudding or I'll take a dodgy turn. Let's learn about the history and the birth of baby Jesus. Reflect and appreciate on what others do to please us, and please, please don't leave us in Smith's or the Entertainer. Promise that you will meet me, in fact, pinky promise that you will meet me by the door. We are going to shop until we drop and flop onto the floor, always buy more than you receive, but never cease believing as you try to straighten up the way your Christmas tree is leaning, dreaming of gifts and the smile on their face, like the kids that get a scare electrics and beat their siblings in a race. I meet my friends at their place and we put up the decorations and say things like, why not, it's Christmas, let's eat a whole box of heroes and celebrations. I can't wait to taste them. The feeling is divine, and when your mum and dad aren't looking, slip your sis a sip of wine, then say, it wasn't mine, I swear, I don't know where she got it from. Listen, a sip for this is fine, but make sure it's only one. Yes, Mum. Put cards upon the walls, tinsel around the tree, decision time. An angel or a star? Which one is it going to be? My little niece is scared of the ghost from Christmas past, and the adults played a drinking game to see who we outlast. Each year it comes round fast, so you better make your mind up what to buy. You know it's nearly here when QVC shows Christmas in July. Yet my freezing toes are frozen in the snow, and I would go up a step to get a peck under the mistletoe. Let's let the glisten glow and go slide down the pavement's carpet. And you know Christmas has started when you smell that German market. Hardly any young one sleeps the night before, and however much they get, of course they're always wanting more. But I saw the festive season in full swing as the bull rings shining bright. Last minute shoppers walk by under Christmas lights. We like to encourage it, even if it's lies. So cut your carrot up and don't forget mince pies. The reflective window spies on young, sleepy eyes, doing what they can just to stay awake all night, and Santa flies and cries out with a shout, I'm sorry, but you've missed us. And when the wrapping paper's ripped, it means it's another year until Christmas.
We welcome the Wakeling brothers, 3 young men with enormous talent, return to our concert for the 2nd time. The 3rd time for Jake, who performed solo until we found that he belongs to a family of talented young people. So the Wakeland Brothers are with us again this year to bring some very welcome jazz, to bring some calm in these troubled times. So here are Jake, Luke and Harry, filmed at home where they're self-isolating during the recent lockdown.
2, 3, 4.
talent is outstanding. Casey is the new Birmingham Poet Laureate, appointed on National Poetry Day in October. Already a published poet, Casey has another book to be published in 2021 called Please Don't Touch. Well, today you can see and listen to him performing this moving poem on the stigma attached to suicide, as well as many other sufferers. The option of suicide is common among refugees, fleeing from danger and turmoil and seeking safety, especially where they're made to feel unwelcome and cruelly treated.
Find a new place to hang this noose. Stop killing those who have already killed themselves, like they haven't suffered enough already, carried enough already, died enough already. To label someone a coward when they are no longer here to represent themselves has to be the worst cocktail of cowardice and hypocrisy that I have ever tasted. Maybe he did it because he saw no hope in this life. Maybe she did it because her only hope is that another life would follow. I always thought the most difficult multiple choice questions are the ones where you feel like all of the answers could be right. Gravity is pulling us all down, and just because bricks fall faster than feathers, it doesn't mean they're weaker. They just carry more weight. A man who looked young but aged with a face like distressed furniture once told me that the greatest misconception around suicidal people is the thought that they want to die. Nobody wants to die. The issue is, not everybody wants to live either. The most difficult multiple choice questions are not the ones where you feel like all of the answers could be right. The most difficult multiple choice questions are the ones where you are sure that none of the answers are right. And then you have to choose one anyway.
Kate McWilliam is another loyal supporter of our Christmas concert for human rights. And we're thrilled she's agreed to perform once again. She's a unique artist, an accomplished violinist or fiddler player. Kate performs and records with the renowned Midlands group, Quill. For our concert, Kate is going to play 3 pieces, which she will now introduce herself.
Hello everyone, Merry Christmas. It's my very great pleasure to be playing for this concert again this year. Although it's in very different circumstances, I'm glad to say it's still going ahead and we've adapted. I'm going to be playing 3 tunes for you. They'll run pretty much one into the other. The first one is an old Gaelic tune. I don't know what it's called. I heard it years ago, played rather wonderfully by a band called Sprangine. And from that I'm going to have a little nod towards Christmas and play a carol that many of you may know called Masters in This Hall. It's actually an old French tune called Le Matelot, which I didn't realise until fairly recently. And from Masters in This Hall, or Le Matelot, I'm going to go into a Shetland reel called The New Rigged Ship.
watch today's concert in aid of Amnesty International and freedom from torture. If you would like to help freedom from torture, please donate, and the details are given below on the screen. We now welcome Madeline Gorringe, a new performer to us. Madeline started training in Bharatanatyam, traditional Indian dance, while she was growing up in South India. She completed her debut performance under Prakash Yada Guda in London, and she's since worked as a freelance dancer, a researcher and an administrator. She is particularly interested in using traditional dance as a means of exploring issues of social justice. Today's piece is something full of sadness and irony. Madeline will dance to Leon Rossenson's song about Martin Fontache. The song is an adaptation of a story in Primo Levi's book about Jewish partisans in the Second World War. If not now, when? Martin Fontache wrote a song just before his execution. Leon wrote to us and said, "The title references Rabbi Hillel's saying of 2,000 years ago, 'If I am not for myself, who will be for me? If not this way, how? If not now, when?'" I felt that if Martin Fontache were alive today, seeing Israel's brutal treatment of the Palestinians, he would have written a different song, a song in the tradition of another saying of the same rabbi: "Do not do unto others what is hateful to thyself." A song of solidarity with the oppressed and a rejection of the mindless concept of tribal loyalty. So now, let the song and Madeline's dance speak for itself.
The story's told of how in 1942 Martin Fontache, poet, carpenter and Jew, with a band of partisans threw in his lot till he was taken by the Germans to be shot. He was a peaceful man, quick to laugh and cry. At every village celebration he'd be there, with his songs that told of sadness and of joy, and the guitar he carried with him everywhere. But when the Nazis came and killed his wife and son, Martin traded his guitar in for a gun. This song is for those who are cast out by history, the banned and abandoned, the spurned and ignored, whose homes have been taken, whose dreams have been broken, who huddled on hillsides demand to be heard. The German soldier assigned to kill the Jew, as it happened, was a music lover too. And this bond, it seems, is what made him decide offer Martin one last wish before he died. Soon my soul, Martin said, will dance on air. Now all I ask is time to write my farewell song. The German soldier checked his watch and said 1 hour. 1 hour, Martin remarked, that long? And so he wrote and sang full voice to raise the dead. And then the German put a bullet in his head. And this song is for those who are cast out by history, the banned and abandoned, the spurned and ignored, whose homes have been taken, whose dreams have been broken, who huddled on hillsides demand to be heard. The German kept the song and bragged of what he'd done, and showed it proudly when in drink to everyone. He couldn't read the words and didn't seem to see that a song cannot take root unless it's free. And then one night, 2 partisans set out. The song must be released, the man must die. They slipped into his quarters, slit his throat, took back the song and gave it wings to fly. And so it soared upon the wind and came to rest, and found a home among the damned and dispossessed. And his song was for those who are cast out by history, the banned and abandoned, the spurned and ignored, whose homes have been taken, whose dreams have been broken, who huddled on hillsides demand to be heard. Though we resist oppression, still our dream is peace. Theirs is the mask of hatred, ours the human face. Then let not our sufferings turn our souls to ice, so that we do to strangers what was done to us. It is not with conquering armies I belong, their bloody retribution I disown. Their songs of triumph I will never sing, for the God they worship turns them into stone. If any teach their children how to hate and hurt, though they are Jews, they do not live inside my heart. And his song is for those who are cast out by history, the banned and abandoned, the spurned and ignored, whose homes have been taken, whose dreams have been broken, who huddled on hillsides demand to be heard. Let his song be a spark, let it fly through the dark like a bird.
Anna Vienna Ho is a Hong Kong pianist. She now lives in Birmingham. She received an advanced postgraduate diploma and her Master in Music in Piano Performance with distinction from the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire, where she studied piano and was a recipient of numerous awards and scholarships. Anna Vienna has also won numerous prizes in both local and international piano competitions. As a concert pianist, Anna Vienna has given solo recitals and performed in many concert venues in Hong Kong and across Europe, including the Royal Albert Hall, Birmingham Town Hall, and Hong Kong City Hall. She will now play Leung Yang River by Jian Zong Wan, based on a Chinese folk tune. And then she will be joined by Michael Lamb, who will sing Ah, Forever I Lost You by Bellini. Bournville Amnesty is a local group, part of a worldwide movement that in the UK alone includes almost 250,000 activists and campaigners. They fight the bad guys around the world, seeking justice for those who've been arrested, tortured and abused, as well as campaigning for our rights, because they are all our human rights. Bournville Amnesty is currently supporting 2 individuals. Walid Abu al-Kaher is a lawyer, someone who's defended so many others who've been denied their human rights. From setting up one of the few human rights organisations in Saudi Arabia to represent Raif Badawi, who was imprisoned and flogged for blogging about human rights. Walid is now one of the most outspoken critics of rights abuses by the Saudi Arabian government. Walid is now serving a 15-year prison sentence for his human rights activism. And the second person that Bournville Amnesty is supporting is Ashima Mohammed, who was arrested in Egypt in 2016 when he was only 14 years old. No one knew where he was for 34 days. He was tortured and charged with being a member of the Muslim Brotherhood and for setting fire to a hotel. He remains in prison, and Bournville Amnesty, together with others, are writing urging President al-Sisi and the Egyptian authorities to allow him to have access to lawyers and to his family. Moreover, he suffers from a respiratory disease, increasing his vulnerability to COVID-19. If you would like to help Bournville Amnesty and support people such as this, then please donate. And the details of how to do that are given on the screen below. Hassan Salih Noor is a singer and oud player from Sudan. Born in Gabet in eastern Sudan to parents from the north of the country. From the age of 3, he began to play the tambor, the traditional instrument of northern Sudan, and to sing local songs. Growing up, he learned to play more instruments, performing traditional music, and becoming a fixture on the music scene of Port Sudan. Salih spent time in Holland and Cairo before settling here in Britain. He now works with Ibrahim Disco, a Sudanese percussionist from Holland. This performance with Salih playing the oud was commissioned by Celebrating Sanctuary Birmingham for Refugee Week 2020. A soulful, captivating performance of traditional, original Sudanese music. Almost at the end of our concert. So let me take this opportunity to thank the organisers, Astrid, John and Cameron, and especially to Claire and Ian, who filmed most of the performances. Thanks to Sandy Oak Methodist Church for access to their beautiful piano, and to Nick Cave who edited the film, to bring all of our endeavours into one Christmas concert for human rights 2020. And thank you to all our performers who have given us such inspiring performances. Please remember to donate to the charitable work of Amnesty and Freedom from Torture, and the information is on the screen below. So now let me say, I hope you have a happy and peaceful Christmas to each one of you from me, and everyone from Bournville Amnesty and Freedom from Torture, West Midlands. Finally, Quinbourne Choir. As we all know, the pandemic lockdown has stopped many of us being together, and that is certainly the case with our choirs. Not to be outdone, our old friends, it says old friends here, of Quinbourne Choir, have asked to share a film from last year. We're going to watch it in a moment. This is Eric Whittaker's Glow, a beautiful, gentle song full of atmosphere of Christmas. As the days get colder, we're lucky to have the warmth of friendship and the ability to help each other around the world as we fight for human rights.
and place. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.